Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. The focus this season had been Igbo Presidency come 2023, and most media houses have been talking about that. But there's something more interesting and which has also generated so much concern, talking about recession. And why I'm bringing up these two issues is because Igbo Presidency has been talked about by most Igbo groups. And one of the people that I would say he's one of the choicest candidates that the Ndigbos would love to front for Igbo presidency come 2023 has, instead of reaffirming his interest in running for presidency, has shown how economically driven he is towards solving Nigerian problem, has decided to talk about the recession that Nigeria has slipped into 2 times in 5 years. And he's saying, let's forget about 2023 election, because whether you like it or not, it's going to come. But let's look at the current issue that is on ground, and which is recession. And according to him, he said that this recession will be worse than 2016. And according to the news, the vice presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party, PDP, in the last election, Peter Obi, has called on his fellow politicians to put issues of 2023 aside and focus on how to rescue the country from the economic crisis. Obi said that solving the economic problems of Nigeria was more important than political permutation geared towards the next general election. The former Anambra State governor stated during an appearance on channel television, insisting that the next election has no impact on people's current livelihood, which is true. Obi said the monies borrowed by this government were not properly put to use, blaming the President Muhammadu Buhari administration for not adequately preparing Nigerians for the impact of COVID-19. According to him, he said, every other country is discussing the recession and how to pull their people out of poverty. So what we should do now is to concentrate on the monetary and fiscal policies to start pulling people out of poverty. If you see what happened with recent protests, you could see that we are heading into a problem. And I want our energy to be concentrated in that problem. The politicians, the class where I belong, should do more seriously across party lines to be able to arrest the situation before it gets out of hand. For me, it is in discussing how we put food on people's table. Election will come and we can see how to select the best. But let's deal with the recession we have just entered into before 2023. The cost of governance is not acceptable. There is too much waste. This recession is going to be worse than 2016 because the monies we borrowed then were not properly invested. Those are the words that the former vice president under PDP have to tell Nigerians. And guess what? This issue is discussed across board by people who are really interested in the issue of recession, because I tell you the truth, this is the main issue right now. How Nigerians are going to survive till 2023 is the greatest concern. Whether you like it or not, election will come. But how will Nigerians survive? What is the aftermath of recession? We've already started seeing it. The people who feel that they cannot rescue or they cannot survive like this, they have taken to arms and kidnapping and the likes. It's so rampant now. Look at what happened in Edo State. Look at what is happening in Abuja Kaduna Road. It's littered. It's happening everywhere. You now realize that kidnapping is now a job for Nigerians. Why? Because people don't even have means of putting food on their table. One of the former presidential candidates in the 2019 election also speak up. I'm talking about Kingsley Moghalu. He also talked in his Twitter page about these same issues. Let me just quote some words. He said, no surprise, Nigeria is entering yet another recession until Nigeria is led by an intellectually competent leader with visionary politics backed by sound economic thinking and knowledge. Economic transformation will remain a dream. It's for citizens to do the needful. COVID-19 contributed to our economic recession, but is no excuse. Nigerian economy has been weak for several years. Was the 2016 recession caused by COVID-19 too? The deeper problem of economic management led to our weak response to COVID-19 crisis. South Africa budgetary fiscal stimulus response to the crisis was $24 billion. Ours was a budgetary provision of 500 billion, which is just 1.3 million. And central bank intervention of 1 trillion naira, which is just $3 billion, and only a fraction of our desperately poor household received the 20k disbursement from the money budgeted. Until we address the problem of our constitutional structure and the leadership selection problem in our politics, Nigerian economy simply can't create prosperity for its citizens, only for a very few with the right political connection for rent-seeking. These few real entrepreneurs who make it do so in spite of, not because of the government. That's what he has to say. Atiku Abubakar has also spoken, and he's telling his administration, hey, swallow your pride. Get the economic experts around you. And even whether they are in different parties, whether they are far away, get them together. Hearken to advice of the people. This is Nigeria. It does not belong to APC. It does not belong to PDP. Neither does it even belong to the president. It doesn't belong to any citizen. It's our own country. For me, I don't have any place to run to in event of anything happening in this country. There is no safe heaven anywhere, because by the time anything happens in this country and you're trying to run to Ghana, they will send you packing. Look at what happened to DJ Switch when she went over to Canada to maybe get an asylum there. Look at what they just came out immediately and debunked everything. There is nothing like asylum here, and except they get a reasonable write-up and all of that from your people. And just to show you that you've got just one country, and that one country is Nigeria. So the question is, how do we fix all of these issues? The government needs to listen to the people. A thumbs up to Peter Obi, despite the stories flying in the air that he's one of the choicest candidates for, the Ndigbos for Igbo Presidency come 2023. He understands that 2023 may not ever come except we deal with the current issue of recession on ground. And I feel that at this point, the government need to call people to the table and iron out things. I'm so shocked when I saw the list of members of the economic team of this administration. My expectations were really high, because I was expecting that the product of that, the communique that will be coming out from their meeting will be able to solve some of the challenges we are having. But I know that there's one thing about the government. Most of the time, people are there suggesting the right thing to be done, but people are not listening. The leaders believe that they have to play along party lines. In as much as your suggestion doesn't link up with what the expectation of our party is, then we can't accept it. And, I'm so shocked that all of that is happening, and some persons are not retiring or are not resigning from that economic team. I tell you the whole truth, because it's a blow. The first thing that anybody will ask you when they call you up to talk anywhere and you begin to blow your mouth and say this and that is, Oga, were you not part of the economic team? Where were the suggestion? Why didn't you tell Nigeria we have suggested it? And if your suggestion were not taken into consideration, why didn't you throw in the white towel and walk away? The same question that the channel guy asked Habaribe. He said, you're saying that this government is a failure, but you are still part of this government, so which means you are inclusive. At one point, one should be able to scream and shout for the people to hear that we are making positive suggestions, but nobody is hearkening to our suggestion. Look at where Nigeria is today. People are I trust Nigerians in one thing. They can never allow themselves to be, queue up, in other words, to be put in a fix for too long. They will always want to find an escape route. And that's why you see all this issue of banditry everywhere. I feel we should follow the suggestion of Peter Obi. Nigerians should wake up. Let's see how we can fix this. Government should stop this issue of continuous borrowing. It's not helping issues. It's not helping. And not just borrowing. You borrow it and put it on white elephant projects, which will not help the country. How can you be talking about real way that is going to help you? Now, I tell you the truth. Let's be real to ourselves. The next 2, 3, 4 years, those real ways, if it's not taken care of, will be abandoned. And already we know the style of leadership in Nigeria. Any administration that comes on board and then sees a particular project, White Elephant project, that is consuming so much money in maintaining it, they will abandon it. You'll be shocked that in the next 5 years, in the next 6 years, that project called railway, it will be railway business, it will be abandoned. Let us look at investment opportunities that Nigerians can dive into and fix the country. The problem of economic development is what Nigerians are looking for, not storytelling, not creating railways. Those things doesn't make anything. You see the number of billions of naira that they are pushing into fixing road, and unfortunately those roads will be fixed this month. The next month it will have another problem, and tomorrow they will table it again. Some of them even the format that they had been using in sending in their budget proposal is the same format they'll keep using without even altering anything, because for them, whether it is capital, whether it is recurrent, all capital projects now in Nigeria seems to be recurrent problems, recurrent expenses. I'd like to leave it there. Just go to our comment section. Let's interact. It's really touching.